Hello, it's story time with Nancy today. Story time with Nancy tonight. It's story time. We're going to read about Curious George and the pizza. Once upon a time, a long time ago, and in a country far, far away from where you are, there was a man who always wore yellow. And he didn't have any other clothes. That's all he had was yellow clothes. His whole closet was full of yellow clothes. And sometimes the monkey would sit on the bed and look at the closet, and it had yellow pants and yellow shirts and yellow ties and yellow hats. The whole closet was full of them. Curious George didn't think that the man with the yellow hat had ever changed his clothes, but then he realized that yes, indeed, he had many, many clothes, and he had changed them. And one night, George was sitting there looking at these yellow clothes, and the man came in and he said, "Let's go out for pizza." Oh, George liked pizza. Do you like pizza? I knew you would. At the pizza place, Tony the baker was getting pizzas ready for baking. He was pushing the dough around on the pan and, making stuff on it. He flattened out the ball of dough into a large pancake, and he tossed it up in the air. Whee! And then it came down and landed right in the pan in the right place, and he spread tomato sauce on it, sprinkled it with cheese, and shoved it in the oven. Well, he wouldn't have a very good pizza if that's all he put on it was just some tomato sauce and sprinkle of cheese. To make a good pizza, you really need to get some good stuff on there, like pepperoni or who cares what, hamburger or hot dogs or sausages. I know a game about sausages. Yeah, it goes like this. You ask a question, and the answer has to be sausages. So you ask questions like, "What is that in your ears?" And the person is not supposed to laugh, and so they say, "Sausages." And then you say, "What do you drive to get to work?" "Sausages." "What do you use to brush your hair?" "Sausages." Anyway, it's a good game. But we're not worried. How did you get me talking about sausages? For goodness sakes, we're talking about this pizza that they're making that isn't going to be any good because they're just sprinkling cheese on it. You have to put real mozzarella cheese on it, and you have to you can put vegetables on it. I like onions. I like onions. Yes, you can put onions and green peppers and mushrooms, and you could put anything on it. You could even put cookies on it. Anyway, but you have to put cheese on it. Well, actually, you don't. If you're really poor, you could just put a piece of bread with ketchup on it. That would work. Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have been so critical. So anyway, he fixed his pizza up and he shoved it in the oven. Then the telephone rang. Ring! Ring! Or as that lady on Laughing says, "One ringy-dingy, two ringy-dingies." Then the telephone rang. "A fellow from the factory wants a large pizza delivered in a hurry," Tony's wife called. "Okay, I'll get my coat," said Tony. So is he going to deliver him his coat? Doesn't he have to go make it first? Usually, when you phone Pizza, 1111 is the telephone number. So something, 3 digits, and then 1111, and you can call that, and you can get your pizza, and they'll bring it to you, and if they don't get it there in a half an hour, you get it for free. That's right, free. It's worth having it. And you get twin pizzas for the same price. That's a really good deal. So George was curious. Could he make a pizza too? Have you ever made a pizza too? Well, he jumped up on the counter, and he took some dough. And he pounded the dough into pancakes. He's got a whole pile of them there. He's holding them with his feet. He has thumbs on his feet. Do you know that? Then he tossed them into the air with all 4 hands. Now, how would you do that? You have to lie on your back to throw them in the air. One of them plopped right in the middle of a table where a woman was sitting. Another landed on a coat rack. One fell on the jukebox. Do you know what a jukebox is? I have a friend who has a jukebox. It's got lots of records inside it. Oh, you don't know what records are either? Well, songs. Songs that are put on flat pieces of plastic. They're all lined up sideways. And if you put them down and stick a needle on them, it'll make music. I know, don't ask me how it works. It's different than a CD player. They're bigger. And one landed smack on Tony's head. "Who did that?" he shouted. Do you think he should have gotten angry? Poor little George. You shouldn't yell at little George. George was scared again. Poor George, he's scared all the time. People are so mean to George. He ran out and he jumped into a small truck to hide. That customer is still waiting for his pizza, said Tony's wife. You'd better hurry. They'll be closing the factory in a few minutes. I forgot all about it, Tony said. Quickly, he packed his pizza in the back of his truck and drove away. George was trapped inside. Help! Help! Let me out! The truck sped up to the factory, but it was too late. The gates were locked. Oh no, Tony groaned. How will I ever deliver the pizza? He opened the back of the truck, and there was George. So that's where you've been hiding, you bad little monkey, Tony cried. Not a bad little monkey, just a little monkey. Just did little monkey things. He reached out to grab George, but then he stopped. I've got an idea, he said. You're just the one I need. So, he gave George the pizza, and George climbed the fence with the pizza, holding it up high on his hands, on his fingers, and away he went. How good that George was a monkey. Did your mommy or daddy ever call you a monkey? You little monkey. Look at that, shouted the factory guard. A monkey delivering a pizza. Thanks, George, said Tony. You made up for all the trouble you caused. I'm going to make a special pizza for you and your friend when we get back. And that's what he did. And they all lived happily ever after. Well, they didn't really. They had lots of problems after that, too. But it's a good way to end the story, don't you think? Okay, that was the end of Curious George and the Pizza. Goodbye.